It is Breakfast with Muse. We are in New York City. We've got about, 15 listeners, 16. That's about it.
We'd have more, but our station was too cheap to fly any more than this to New York City. I think you could tell. But we are here with the guys in Muse who have an enormous 2009 planned, including playing Giant Stadium in just a very few days, opening for U2, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But first, we're going to go out into the audience. King of Mexico is here with us. You're in the crowd. Who's our first question for Breakfast with Muse?
Mono Lee here.
Mono Lee. Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Hello there.
I was wondering what's the weirdest thing a fan has ever done for you?
Is there a part B to this that we should be worried about?
She wants to know what she needs to do to beat it.
I had a fan in Russia who painted a picture of me naked with a crow on my shoulder.
Yes.
That's pretty far out.
That is pretty far out.
Slightly creepy.
And very creepy as well, yeah.
Did the fan present the picture to you?
They presented it to me and said, look what I've done. A picture of me. I looked a bit like Uncle Fester or something. It wasn't a good look. It was a very
How was the privates?
Vibe.
Did she interpret your privates as accurately?
To be honest, I looked at it once and I've had nightmares ever since. Dom's kept it and I think he's put it on his wall just to annoy me every time I go to his house.
The creepier thing is I found it in my house the other day.
Oh, wow.
So it's still hanging around.
Dom has it in his bedroom wall, you know.
But one day you'll have a garage sale and you'll be glad that you still have it, right? All right, Dave, who's next?
I got Ramon.
Hey, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Why did you call the album The Resistance?
The Resistance. The album kind of plays with when I was. I've been living in London and Italy for a while, and when I was in London, there's loads of these protests going on. The G20 protests.
Sure, right.
And it was going on right outside my flat, pretty much. So I got to see it all, and I got to see all these kind of people dressed up in silly costumes and sort of, going to the House of Parliament with sort of, basically a revolution, but having fun at the same time. And I quite like that approach. So I wanted to sort of make the album themed around the idea of revolution and resistance. And the album sort of flips between various different ways of going about resistance, whether it be like a peaceful resistance, whether it be a violent resistance or whatever.
Were you annoyed at first by the sound and the people and everything else, or were you?
No, I was into it, because it's you get used to it, because I live by the American Embassy, and there's protests there every week.
Sure. And why not?
Some years that's an okay place to be, some years not so much. Are you guys politically involved at all, or do you ever make a statement for or against things back home or around the world?
I'm not really that political. I mean, I try to make a few statements within the music, but I'm not a sort of activist, or I'm not a person that talks about things outside of the music. I like to try and filter it into the music if possible,
Sure, I understand. Take us back to the, if you would, since a lot of people are kind of, more people discover Muse every time you put out a new record, and you're going to get a whole lot of new fans with this new record, I'm sure, but, people may not be aware you've been around for years and years and years. You've been playing together since you're practically 13 years old, which is so astonishing to me that you could find musical soulmates that would all grow in the same direction and nobody would lose interest or decide they want to go get a quote-unquote real job. What's been the glue that's kept you together all this time?
I think we've just, from a very young age, we all played in bands. Chris in a different band, Matt was in my band, and we gradually got together just because I think we all saw that it was only the three of us out of all those people that had like quite a real love for music and a real ambition to make music. And I guess we just saw that from an early age. I'm sure we weren't very good when we first started, but I think we tried hard, It was A for effort.
You were pretty bad.
But I think his question has to do with...
I think it's because I suppose we're almost like brothers because we've known each other for so long.
Right.
Since we're about 12, 13.
Got to be a lot of fights.
And you go through all sorts of ups and downs, and everyone's gone through loads of
Gallagher brother moments, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We're plenty in the studio as well. But yeah, I mean, basically we've all been through loads of personal changes, and we've all helped each other through those things, and we've all grown up together, basically. So I think that's...
But especially to get to the kind of music that you're recording now, which none of you could have even imagined 15 years ago. The fact that you all are still comfortable and that's the direction that you're going is a real testament to
I think also because we're close friends, I think that means when we're in the studio we're kind of having fun, we're not taking it too seriously, so therefore we can try things that other people probably would be a little bit afraid to try, So.
Do you have blow-ups? Do you I'm gone for the day, I can't take you two.
Me and Dom have plenty of blow-ups, and then Chris steps in.
All right.
No one messes with Chris because he's twice the size of us.
Yeah, well,
I noticed that. I'm a little intimidated just sitting here.
It's easy when you're a three-piece because it's always two against one.
Oh, that's true.
But democracy wins. That's right. You get two votes.
It's usually me against Dom.
Member,
It's usually me against Dom or Dom against me, and then Chris steps in and resolves it.
All right.
Back to the early days then. So tell me about this small town where you guys grew up, because I've never heard of it except when it's referred to. Is it famous for anything other than, hey, here's where Muse is from?
I don't think it is. No,
You can get sticks of rock there. You know sticks of rock.
No,
like, sweet. What do you call them? Whatever.
Candy.
Candy sticks. Long candy sticks. Where it's got the town name written in it. Did you call it?
I don't think we have those here.
They make very good candy sticks where we come from.
Okay. So there's candy sticks, and then there's Muse. Is it the kind of town where there's not a lot for teenagers to do? And
no, it's kind of, there's nothing really for teenagers when we're growing up there. You get a lot of skaters and people in bands who are just sort of doing that to keep themselves occupied, really. That's kind of where the kind of scene we were growing up in.
Was it tough to find places to play?
Yeah,
it's pretty impossible, really. I mean, there's a few pubs and places like that, but it was all full of old people. So, we go and play there once or twice, and they never ask us to go back. So, I think there was maybe one venue in the whole of, in a 50-mile radius or something.
Most bands have to start doing some cover songs or something else, to kind of get their foot in the door. Did you ever have to do that?
Well, the bands we were in before we got together were covers bands.
All of them.
Playing various types of covers.
What is the song that we would least expect you guys to have played?
When I was 13, I was in a band that actually played Black or White by Michael Jackson.
Wow!
So that would be, imagine, a bit of a surprise, maybe.
And then you joined my band.
And then I joined his band, which is a lot cooler. They were playing like Sonic Youth songs
right?
and stuff. Yeah.
We did some. A weird one was "High Speed Dirt" by bloody Megadeth. That was a pretty strange.
Well, it may be time. The tour coming up this year. Maybe time to dust some of those off.
We always throw a few riffs in. Actually, I mean, people who come to our gigs, they always notice we always throw like a Rage riff or a Deftones riff or something like that every now and again, just to keep the kids bouncing.
That's awesome. It's Breakfast with Muse, by the way. We're going to take another quick break here. It's the Kevin and Bean Show. The boys will be playing again when we return, and we've got more of your questions as well. This is pretty awesome, by the way. And we'll return right after this on the Kevin and Bean Show.